Luckily, I did record a tutorial on how I did this nail. So first with chunky glitter, you're going to want to see how much chunky glitter is really in this powder. How is it mixed? Can you see the fine amounts of powder, or is it mostly just chunky like this? If you can see a lot of powder in there, you're going to want to shake the container so that the chunkies float to the top. Otherwise, you're good the way it is. So I'm going to apply my base liquid. The first layer, I'm actually applying my base liquid like I normally would. The second layer will do thicker. All right, so we are going to dip flat into this container. You can also lay out your chunky glitter in like a little muffin tin, those little cupcake liner things, and those will help you lay the glitter flat. Now I'm going to take a wooden cuticle pusher, and you see how all of these are like laying all which way and blah, blah, blah. The two things I'm going to focus on is trying to get the glitter to be flat and trying to get the glitter out of my cuticle line. If you're going to focus on one thing, get it out of your cuticle line. That is the most important thing to do. After you add a clear layer, you're not going to be able to file any chunky glitter out of your cuticle line, and it will just look like you have glitter and overlap in your cuticle line. So we're going to take this wooden cuticle pusher and we're just kind of going to run it around my cuticle, and then we're going to push any glitter that's in the cuticle up, or we're just going to remove it. The best thing that I can tell you about chunky glitter is that you control it. It does not control you. Here I am taking my thumb and pressing the glitter down so it lays flat. You can also do this with a piece of like tape or a plastic baggie over your thumb so you don't get any of the adhesive onto your skin. I'm so used to doing it this way that sometimes I just forget. So you're going to press that glitter down and you're going to get it to lay flat onto your nail. I'm going to clear out just one more spot, and then we're going to apply base onto this. I usually try to shoot for 2 layers of chunky and then 1 or 2 layers of clear on top of that. So I'm going to get my base a little bit thicker on this one so we can fit the liquid in all the little crevices of the chunky glitter. And then I'm going to again dip flat and basically follow the exact same practice that I did with the first dip. So I'm going to dip in, and then it's going to look like chaos on my nail. And we're going to manage that chaos by using the cuticle pusher. You could also take your powder brush and kind of brush some of this off if it's just too much for you. Or you can scrape a little bit with your cuticle pusher if it's just too much for you. This was the look that I wanted, so this is what I did. Again, I'm using my finger to kind of push down the glitter, put it to be where I want it to be. And then after this, we're going to want to apply a clear layer. You absolutely 100% need to encapsulate a chunky glitter in clear. There is really no other option. It is not going to turn out well if you do not. So I'm going to apply my base fairly thick on this one. Again, trying to get on all those little crevices that the thick chunky glitter kind of collects. And we're going to dip it into clear powder. And when I dip it in, I actually shake my finger a little bit in the powder, move it back and forth inside the powder so it kind of falls into all those little crevices and creates a more smooth surface. So you see me applying the base fairly thick, like I said, and then I'm going to dip it in and I'm going to shake it around a little. See that? Now it goes into those little crevices. Brush away the extra powder, and then I think I actually encapsulate this one twice. It just kind of depends on how I'm feeling about it when I get the first dip of clear done. So once you get the first dip done, see how you think it looks. If you're still a little bit rocky, maybe apply another layer of clear, and that might help you smooth it out a little bit. I usually don't like to have 4 layers of anything on my nail though, so if I feel like it needs another layer of clear, it's probably because it really needs another layer of clear. And we're just going to do the same thing, brush off the extra, and then use that to clear out my cuticle. Make sure it's not getting too thick or collecting around the cuticle. And then we're going to take my activator after that, and we're going to apply a generous amount of activator. We're going to try to keep it away from our skin. Sometimes when I'm recording, I have a hard time keeping it away from my skin because I'm kind of looking at my nail through a camera. But you're going to try to keep the activator off of your skin, but you're still going to try to apply a generous amount of it so that it levels it out, because our activator is self-leveling. After you let your activator dry for a little while, probably, I don't know, 2.5, 3 minutes, you can start shaping that nail. And so you're going to really put in the effort buffing this one and then just filing the sides to just shape it up. So we're going to file the sides a little bit and we're just going to shape up that nail. It just looks a little bit thick because maybe there's some chunky glitter overhanging the edge. Maybe we just need to shape it up a little bit because that nail is so thick with the 4 layers. And again, you can do 3 layers if that's what you prefer. So we're just shaping up the sides, sharpening up the look a little bit, and then we're going to go in and we're going to buff that nail. Now, when you get some in the cuticle line, this is what you're going to be doing, and this is why I don't suggest it, because when you file around your cuticle line, damage is always possible. Of course, you can use a diamond bit for your e-file and do this, and it maybe would be a little bit more effective, but I didn't have to do a lot of filing, so I just did this and I was really careful. But again, you want to keep it out of the cuticle line because of this very reason. Now we're going to buff as much as we possibly can to get that nail as smooth as possible. And this is really where you get to decide how much work you want to do and how smooth you want it to be. Okay, so the more buffing you do, the more smooth it's going to be. And because of the clear, you don't have to be super worried about damaging the glitter underneath. So you can really go ham on buffing. After this, you're just going to apply another layer of activator, and then you're going to wait for it to dry, and then you're going to apply your top coat. So that would be exactly how I typically do it. There are people who have other methods of how they apply chunky glitter, but this is how I do it. So hopefully that helps the situation. And let me know how it goes the next time you decide to do your nails with chunky glitter, because sometimes there's just nothing quite like it.